in your era of boxing, it was the golden era of the middleweights, especially in Philadelphia.
Right.
Can you touch on, like, you know, who was around, who you worked with?
Around that time, Cyclone Hart, I sparred him. Willie, what was that? Willie the Worm Monroe.
Yeah.
Boogaloo Bobby Watts. William Watts. You just something middleweights though.
Yeah, well, shit, then you work with light heavyweights too?
Yeah.
Okay.
What's his name? Eddie Mustafa Muhammad. I don't know if at that time was way back. Was he light heavyweight then, or was he 160? I don't even. And Asad Muhammad. We used to work with all different weights, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You know, and I still do that now. You know what I mean?
Mm.
You know, but Philly always had some of the best fighters there in the era, in era of boxing, man. They had the best fighters, man. But a lot of them wasn't treated fairly. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like Philly's known for his like legendary
yeah.
Philly versus Philly Blue Horizon wars.
Yeah, they had the best. I mean, some of the best fighters, man. And mostly all the great fighters in Philly, they didn't make it because they wasn't, you know, treated fairly. What I mean by that, they wasn't promoted right.
Mm.
You know what I mean? They wasn't promoted right. Then they had them fighting each other. You know what I mean? And beating on each other. That's why some of them never made it that far. You know what I mean? But if you ever really want to see a fight, you go in them Philly gyms. That's where you see the real fights.
Yeah.
Not at the Spectrum, not at the Alhambra or the Civic Center and all that when they used to get it. You know what I mean? Them different arenas. You see them in the gym wars. And that's where they really ruined a lot of fighters from Philly too.
Yeah.
A lot of gym wars, you know. But we still had some of the best fighters. We just didn't have the right people promoting them or behind them at the time. You know what I mean?
Now, when you talk about the gym wars, right?
Yeah.
You feel like a lot of fighters like leave the fight in the gym, because I've heard that terminology.
Yes, a lot of them. Yeah, you can see once you're a trainer, you got to know how far to go with your fighter in the gym. When it comes to that sparring, you got to know when to stop sparring, when and who he's sparring with. You know what I mean? It's all right to spar bigger guys, but not all the time. You know what I mean? Just if you're fighting somebody that's real strong, you want to fight a guy a little bigger. You know what I mean? See if you can take that weight. You know what I mean? That weight or his punching power or something like that. You know what I mean?
Mm.
But you don't do it often. And that's just something that you do every now and then. You know what I mean? But other than that, I don't know what to say.
Who's the hardest puncher you ever shared the ring with? Because shit, like you said, you spar heavyweights too, right?
Yeah. I'll tell you this though. When I sparred Cyclone Hart, he hit me in my arm.
Yeah.
And I felt that go to my brain. That's how hard he could punch. His left hook was dangerous, man. Mm. And I sparred Eddie Mustafa Muhammad. He had a nice, powerful jab. You know what I mean? Matter of fact, I sparred Mike Rossman, the George Bomber. Mm. I can go back, but I sparred Jesse Ferguson. These guys is bigger than me. You know what I mean? Mm. David Bay, Jocko Johnson. These these guys back then. Broderick Mason. You know what I mean? There's so many guys that I sparred. Larry Hollins. You know what I mean? Norman Farrell. I sparred a lot of guys, man. There's so many guys that I sparred.
What happened to the Philadelphia middleweight? You don't really see too many. Like, you see a lot of welterweights.
Yeah.
But
I don't know.
The Philly middleweight is like the last one was like Bernard Hopkins.
Right.
And it seemed like Bobby Boogaloo Watts.
Yep.
And Willie Maroon, they beat Marvin Hagler.
Yep.
And that's what Philly's known for, giving you a tough fight.
Tough fight, yeah. You got to. The old saying, you got to, when you come through Philly, you make it through Philly. You can make it anywhere if you make it through Philly, and that's the old saying.